Hey guys, Brother Paul here. Out at the lake relaxing, and gotta say, God's been talking to me. I been reading the book of Isaiah for about on and off for about 2 weeks now, and it wasn't until I got out of here that I got the second half of it really nice and clear, and I really, really enjoyed the revelation that God was giving me. Um, Today being Tuesday, I don't know what it is, the 4th of August. Um, for anybody out there that has dreams and visions, you know how cumbersome it can be some nights when you get bombarded, and especially when you got to work in the morning, you end up almost concentrating more on trying to ignore them than you do trying to understand them. So last night was a night where I'm out at the lake here. There's no reasoning, there's no reason for me to ignore them. So I had the chance to actually listen to each dream, ask God about each one, and have a revelation of each one. And I hope you enjoy this, but it was really kind of neat because I went to bed last night seeing off one of my daughters. She was going back to the city to work, and her and her friends. And I just was being very thankful to God last night, and I was just really appreciating the rest, the time off work, being with my family, everything that goes with that. And here comes the interruptions. I'll be right back. Okay, part two. Um, I had a bunch of dreams, like I was saying, and let me tell you about a few of them. So, I had one dream where I ran into a woman who seemed very confused. She was a blonde woman. She had a couple of children with her, and she had it was weird. It looked like a toy cell phone, and the numbers piece was detached from the phone, and she asked me for help. So when I looked at what it was, I remember my children having a toy phone like this. And it was a matter of putting the paper with the numbers on it over the phone, putting the cap back on, hitting send to make it come alive. And that was the end of the dream. And I asked God, like, well, what is this about? And he's like, well, there's a lot of people that need help with communication. They don't know how to put things together. And I said, oh, okay. And then it jumped to the next one. And the next scene, I was in a gym. And in the gym, I saw people trying to put weights and parts together, like the pulleys weren't attached, and they really, really didn't know how to work out. And I saw it, and I asked God, like, what does this mean? And he's like, well, there's a lot of people right now that are trying to strengthen themselves, but they have no way of knowing how to. Like, they're trying to do it themselves instead of asking for help from him. So that was the end of that one. And then the next dream, I was in a pool swimming, and a woman asked me to come and see if I wanted to participate in swimming with her and her children. When I looked, it was that blonde woman with her two children, and she's like, "We don't really know the way." She said ways with a plural, like we don't really know the ways of swimming. So when I asked God about that, he goes, "She just doesn't know the way." And that was the end of that dream. So then I had another one that was, these were like short little dreams. It was really weird. There was one I was riding a bike and I was in some kind of a back lane, and way off in the distance I saw a huge advertisement sign on a building, and I clearly as day saw in the middle of this picture a demon's face. And I was like, whoa, and I went to pull over to pull out my phone and take a picture, and I ended right beside a man and a woman talking, and they were talking so loud and standing in my way. As I was watching the sign and moving away from them, like I biked a bit longer just to get ahead of them, they walked with me to block me. And I saw the picture of the demon turn into an animal, and then two or three other little things. And I was very frustrated. And I looked at them, but I held my anger back. And I said, God, what's going on? And he goes, you're seeing in the spirit. I'm trying to show my children to see with their spirit eyes and listen with their spirit ears, but not everybody is. And those two people were an example of the enemy sending distractions around you. I went, okay, wow, you know. And then the last dream was a really strange one. I saw 4 men, and they kind of looked Iranian. I'm not really sure where they were from, but they had the Middle Eastern Persian look. And they were standing in front of a building under construction in the middle of nowhere. And they had 4 women with them, and I immediately knew these were women of the night, or professionals, as you could call them. And I asked God, I said, what is that? And before he answered me, it jumped to the next scene, and I saw these women in the burqa, I believe you call it, the Muslim look, you know, where you cover up. And I saw this woman putting it on, and she was crying. And then I asked God, like, what does that mean? And he goes, be aware that there are people living in areas where they know nobody and have no friends. And here was a woman, as I was watching her put this burqa on, I knew she had a bigger fear of her husband, you know, beating her. And meanwhile, he's cheating on her. But that is the way of, and I've got to be careful how I say this. I'm not saying they're all like that, but he was saying to me to be sympathetic to what you're seeing, because you don't always know the misery people are going through. And that was the end of a series of dreams. So when I woke up, I began to pray and ask God, you know, thanks for showing me that. Thank you for, he's never done that. He's never explained each individual dream like that. And I really, really believe that the message of all these dreams together was, we're entering a time now that we're really, really going to need to be listening and hearing in spirit. And I forgot to mention, when I came back out here where I'm sitting right now on the deck, I began to finish my Isaiah from 58 to 66. And if you have time to go look at those, every one of those dreams was represented in those little scriptures. I couldn't believe it. Anyway, I hope this blesses you. Take it to prayer. Jesus is definitely speaking to us right now, and I hope you're at least trying to hear what he's saying, because we are in a time of rest, and it's about to get crazy. So if you're looking for strength, if you're looking for how to communicate, if you're looking for understanding, if you're looking for forgot what other ones I said, try really hard to ask God to give you these understandings, because they're there, and he's always talking to us. You just got to make sure you're at least trying to listen. Revelation comes to those who seek. I love you guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.